Hey everybody, in this video we're talking about the subject of comparative advantage. Now what is comparative advantage all about? It's about this, guys. Who should make which good when trading? That's right. When you have two groups trading, two individuals trading, two nations trading, who should make which good? Now in this video, like in most introductory classes, we're going to start off with just two goods, okay? We're just going to call it good A and good B, okay? Just going to keep it nice and generic. And we're trying to decide is who should make which of those two goods when they trade, okay? So they want to trade together, and so when they trade A, they're going to trade it for B, and of course when they trade B, they're going to trade that for A, and so we're trying to figure out, well, who should make which good in this trading relationship? And the answer is whoever has the comparative advantage. Now the interesting thing is it's not necessarily who has the absolute advantage. The person that has the absolute advantage, or nation or group, whatever, that has the absolute advantage is the one that's best at doing something, okay? Let me define absolute advantage for you, okay? Absolute advantage goes the following way. It is somebody that can make more of a good with the same amount of resources as somebody else. They have the absolute advantage. They're just better, right? It's a very simple definition. You can also say it this way. They can make the same amount of something with less resources, okay? Again, they can make more with the same amount of resources, make the same amount with less resources. Hey, in that situation, you're better. That's right, you're better at doing something, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should do it. One of the big reasons is, hey, you could be better at making both goods, and yet we should probably still trade because there's advantages to still trading, even if one of the trading partners is better at both goods or all goods, because we should base trade not on absolute advantage, who's better, but on comparative advantage, okay? Who has the lowest opportunity cost when they produce a good. Again, comparative advantage is who has the lowest opportunity cost. Here's what I like to tell my students, guys. When it comes to absolute advantage, the key to that definition is it has the word resources in it, right? You can make more with the same amount of resources. You can make the same amount with less resources, okay? Those are definitions for absolute advantage. Comparative advantage, the other good shows up in the definition. What do I mean by that? Hey, Sally has the comparative advantage in the production of A if when she makes good A, she gives up less of good B. There it is, the other good showing up in the definition. When she makes good A, she gives up less of good B than the other person, okay? That person has the comparative advantage. In that example, it was Sally, right? She can make the same amount of A, she can make 1 unit of A, I should say. When she makes 1 unit of A, she gives up less of B. Again, comparative advantage based on opportunity cost has the other good show up in the definition. Absolute advantage, the other good never showed up. Good B never showed up. One more time for absolute advantage. You can make more of good A with the same amount of resources. You can make the same amount of good A with less resources. Again, good B does not show up in that definition. Comparative advantage, good B shows up, okay? So, let's get to it. Let's do a comparative advantage problem. Now, one thing I want you to notice about this problem is it's what we call an output problem. What are output problems? Output problems have the outputs varying, right? We're going to say the outputs are good A and good B. You can see different numbers for all of them. The outputs are varying and the input, which is time, is constant. In fact, when you think about those definitions of absolute advantage, which one applies to output problems? Hey, you can make more with the same amount of resources, right? The same amount of time, time being the resource in this example. So that's the definition applies to a output problem. Now, in my next video, I'm going to shoot an input problem, and for an input problem, we're going to have the following definition of absolute advantage apply. You can make the same amount of a good with less resources, okay? So look at that second video on input problems. This one's an output problem. Again, the outputs are varying, input is constant, okay? Now, let's decide absolute advantage. It's straightforward, right? When we take a look at this, Jane has it for both good. She's got the absolute advantage for both good. Hey, Mary is worse at making both goods. Jane is better at making both goods. Should they trade? Absolutely, because we don't base trade on absolute advantage. We base it on comparative advantage, which is based on opportunity cost again, right? So we've got that already done. Who's got the absolute advantage? Let's get to comparative advantage. The good thing about output problems, guys, I want you to hear this, it's so important. When you get an output problem, the good thing is it's so simple because they've basically given you the opportunity cost. They have. Just the data given to you in an output problem is opportunity cost. What I like to do is, hey, put a little negative sign, okay? It doesn't matter which side. I'm going to do it both ways. Now read this right here. Jane, when she makes 10 of B, she gives up 5 of A. That's opportunity cost, and I can move that negative sign right over to there, right? Hey, when Jane makes 5 of A, she gives up 10 of B. That is opportunity cost. Mary, when she makes 6 of B, she gives up 2 of A, where I can move that negative sign right over to there. When Mary makes 2 of A, she gives up 6 of B. We've already got opportunity cost. However, it's a bit difficult to compare the opportunity cost. So when we get these problems, we want to get opportunity cost in terms of 1 of a good, okay? When we make 1 of a good, what does it cost us, okay? And all we have to do is proportions, okay? So let me do this again. So I'm going to just take Jane. So here's Jane. Like I said, we've already got opportunity cost, 5A over 10B. I can put the negative sign in either place, okay? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it right there. This just says when Jane makes 5 of A, she gives up 10 of B. Again, I can move the negative sign. Now I'm just going to do proportions, okay? I want to get this in terms of 1A and in terms of 1B. Let's get it in terms of 1A. So in terms of 1A, opposite the 1, I'm going to put a negative sign, okay? So here's how it works. I'm going to divide both of these by 5, right? It's just proportions. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And here's how we read it. When Jane makes 1 of A, she gives up 2B. This is equal to this. This was opportunity cost. This is opportunity cost. But this is going to make it easier to do some comparing, okay? Again, proportions. I'm going to divide both of these by 10 this time. Or I could divide both of these by 2. It doesn't really matter. But let's just say I'm dividing both of these by 10. 10 divided by 10, 1B. Opposite the 1 goes the negative sign, right? So now 5 divided by 10 is 1/2 A. There it is. Opportunity cost. I've got it in terms of 1 of A and 1 of B. Now let's go to Mary. Mary, again, it's an output problem. The opportunity cost is given. So I'm going to put 2A right there over 6 of B. Negative sign can go in either place. But the way I wrote it, when she makes 2 of A, she gives up 6 of B. Let's get it in terms of 1 of A. How do you get in terms of 1A? Divide both of them by 2, right? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3B. There we go. When she makes 1A, she gives up 3B. And get it in terms of 1B, divide them both by 6, right? 1B, 2 divided by 6 is 1/3 A. Negative sign opposite the 1. When she makes 1B, she gives up 1/3 A. Now, the next thing is to decide who has the comparative advantage. Who has the lowest opportunity cost when they make a good. So when they make 1A, right, when they make 1A, Jane is giving up 2B, Mary's giving up 3B. Okay, Jane, you give up the least. It costs you the least. So Jane, we want you to produce A and therefore sell A. So I'm going to go ahead and write that right there, okay? Take a look at that again. When they both make 1 of A, Jane's going to give up 2B, Mary's going to give up 3B. Jane is the lowest cost producer. It cost her the least amount when she makes 1 of A. Let's have her make A. We don't want Mary to make it. She just gives up too much of B when she makes it. Now, let's go to B. Who's got it for B? And by the way, if Jane's got it for A, mathematically Mary's got to have it for B, but let's just walk through it. Here they are making 1 of B, right? Jane, it cost her 1/2 of A. But Mary, it only cost her a 1/3 of A. It only cost her 1/3 of A. And 1/3 of, of course, less than half, right? So Mary's got it for B. We've got the comparative advantage. But we're not done. Now we need a range of mutually beneficial trade terms. A range of mutually beneficial trade terms. So over here, I'm going to put 1A, okay? So I'm going to find a range of mutually beneficial trade terms for selling and buying 1 of A. Now, so what I'm going to focus on is right here, right? 1A, 1A. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm just going to write, okay, the smaller number in absolute value terms. Because remember, I could change that negative sign. It's just that when she makes 1A, she gives up 2B. When she makes 1A, she gives up 3B. So I'm going to write 2B right there. And then I'm going to put a sign like that, okay? Inequality sign like that, and then I'm going to put 3B on the other side. So if you're lost, here's what I did. I just grabbed the 2 opportunity costs, wrote the smaller opportunity cost and the bigger opportunity cost. Just reading left to right, smaller number, bigger number in absolute value terms, right? So we're just going to put 2B, 3B. That's all we did, okay? Now the 2B is associated with Jane. It's the lower opportunity cost. Well, the person with the lower opportunity cost should produce the good and sell the good. So Jane is the seller, right? 2B is the lower one. 2B associated with Jane. Jane's going to be the seller because she has the comparative advantage in making A. 3B, the higher opportunity cost, is associated with Mary. It's associated with Mary, and the person with the higher opportunity cost should buy that good, So buyer. Now, this is our range of mutually beneficial trade terms. Anything inside this range will be mutually beneficial. Now, what goes here? What goes here is the price, or we say a possible price at least, or the possible terms of trades. That T is just for terms, okay? So a possible price, a possible terms of trade goes right here. I'm going to put a little space and a B. Now kind of take a look at this, guys. The seller wants the price to be greater than their opportunity cost. In fact, they want the price to be as great as possible, right? The seller wants the price, that's what goes in between, to be greater than their opportunity cost. The buyer wants the price to be less than their opportunity cost. In fact, they want it to be as little as possible. The buyer wants the price to be as little as possible. So that's how we're reading this, right? This is our possible price, possible terms of trade. The seller wants that terms of trade, that price to be greater, or as great as possible, you say, but greater than the opportunity cost for it to be beneficial. Mary wants that price to be as small as possible, definitely less than her opportunity cost for it to be beneficial, okay? So anything that goes there. Now I'm going to finish this video by kind of giving a little bit more words to make sure we have understanding. So pay attention to this because I think this is like the most important part of the video for getting deep understanding. Jane is going to sell one of A, so she wants B, okay? Without trade, Jane could just not make one of A. And with the resources it would take to make one of A, Jane could make 2B. She could do that without trade, right? She could get 2B by just giving up 1A without trade, okay? But wouldn't it be great for Jane if she could just make one of A and then sell it for some amount of B that was greater than 2B? Let me do it this way. Wouldn't it be great if Jane made one of A and could sell one of A for some amount of B that was greater than 2B? That would be fantastic. That would benefit Jane. Now, let's talk about Mary. Mary's buying 1A, so she wants one of A, right? She wants A, we could say. Right now, Mary, without trade, can get one of A. How could she do it? She could just not make 3B, and with the resources it would take to make 3B, those resources could make one of A. There you go. She could do that without trade. But wouldn't it be great if Mary could make some amount of B that was less than 3B, some amount of B that was less than 3B, and sell that amount for 1A? That would benefit Mary. That's why this value is mutually beneficial. Again, the topic is comparative advantage. Who should make which good when trading? The entity, the nation, the group, the person that has the comparative advantage. The one person that has the lowest opportunity cost when they make a good should make that good and trade that good. And the other person, the other group, should make the other good. I hope that makes sense to you. Come to our second video on input cost, okay? It's a good one to watch also. And hopefully I see you in that video. See you later.